G'day boys and girls. For today's lesson we're identifying archetypes. So an archetype, it may sound kind of hard, but it's probably going to be easier than you think. But an archetype is a very typical example of a certain person or thing. So another word you may know it by might be, or something similar would be, a stereotype. So when we're looking at characters, we're looking at the archetypes, we're using the knowledge of archetypes to make predictions, inferences, and interpretations. So the little picture there, an archetype of a castle, it's going to be kind of like strong, it's going to be protective, that kind of stuff. A wizard, if we look at an archetype of a wizard, they're knowledgeable, we think of them as kind of old and wise, that kind of thing. So the teaching point is fantasy readers use what they know about the genre every time they read. Knowing about and expecting archetypes can help readers go beyond simply noting characters, plots, and settings and move into making clear predictions, inferences, and interpretations. So really, if we think about archetypes through different series and different books, they have a lot of similarities. It's like, oh yeah, cool, I've seen something like this before, I think I know how they're going to act or whatever might happen. So here are some archetypes that you encounter in fantasy books. Bear in mind, this is just 4 of them. You do get more. We've just got a little chart here. So probably the most obvious is the hero. And then they've got examples from different books. They use the Thief of Always, but I know there's a Harry Potter book in there, and there's a couple other books that some of you guys may encounter these people if you're reading that book. But the hero, so Harvey. So it's a good character who is often lonely and would rather not have to be a hero. The hero has to complete his or her quest alone. They usually win. The villain, a bad character who is often surrounded by other characters he or she is mean to, wants to be in charge of everything, usually loses. So here we've got Mr. Hood. So he's got his cronies or henchmen around him. And the wise person. So in the book of the Thief of Always, it's Mrs. Griffin. She's a wise person who's always helping Harvey out and giving him some knowledge and stuff like that. But it is a very smart character who usually helps the hero by teaching him or her. That's exactly what she has done in our model book. Companions or friends. So here we've got Rictus, Lulu out of the Thief of Always. Obviously different opposing sides there. Rictus is a friend, or he's a henchman of Mr. Hood, and then Lulu is a friend of Harvey. These people are usually friends with the hero or villain. They mostly stick to the hero or villain. However, some of them can be false friends, which would be kind of maybe a plot line or maybe one of the themes, depending on what book you've got. So these are the main archetypes you find in fantasy, but there are many more. So what archetypes can you find in your book? So fill out the table on the next page, add other archetypes that you can find from your story. So I've kind of done one for you as a guide. So this is the table you'll need to fill out. A picture of the character. So I just drew this, a picture of Mr. Hood in Paint, and then I just saved it as an image and copied and pasted it into this document. So the archetype type and name, so he is a villain, and obviously his name is Mr. Hood. And then a description of the character up here. So Mr. Hood is an evil vampire lord who feeds on children's souls, and he wants Harvey to be his underling. So that's kind of what you're going to do. I might have Harvey, and then he would be the hero, and then an explanation of him. Wendell would be a companion, that kind of stuff. So just think of whatever book you're reading, choose some of the characters, and can you find the archetype? What do they fit into? Where do they fit into the story? But these ones are going to be the most common and the most easiest to figure out. So that is your task. We've got a bit of art and then we've got a bit of writing in here. You can use any kind of notability is good for drawing. Anything you wish, you can print it off, you can hand draw it. If it's too hard, you can find an image of your character and you can cut and paste it into there, but I'll leave it up to you. So that will be your task. It will be on the reading website under session 11 worksheet. Okay, thank you.